About a year ago, Manchester United legend Roy Keane entered into a heated debate with Arsenal's former record goal scorer, Ian Wright. The spark that ignited their argument was a fundamental disagreement over Bruno Fernandes. Keane, infamous for his scathing critiques, expressed his frustration with the fans for chanting Bruno's name. He criticized the player's on-field conduct and theatrics, accusing him of faking defensive pressure just to look busy. Ian Wright, however, hit back. "No, Roy, I'm not having that at all." Without Bruno, United would have been languishing in the lower tiers of the table long ago. Those goals you're dismissing are the only thing that have maintained United's dignity over the last few years. Watching these two icons clash over one man made me realize if the legends of the Premier League can't agree on a verdict, then this story absolutely deserves a video. This is a player who has crossed the age of 30, yet the football world remains split down the middle. Some see him as an overrated stat padder not worth a penny. Others see him as a deeply underrated leader whose contributions are taken for granted. In 2018, rumors began circulating that Tottenham, Manchester United, and even Barcelona were monitoring a Portuguese talent at Sporting CP. At the time, he wasn't a household name. But as interest grew from Manchester City and Real Madrid, the hype became undeniable. As usual, United's name was linked to every available talent in Europe, a symptom of a desperate fan base watching expensive signings arrive, play well for a month, and then seemingly forget how to play football while collecting massive paychecks. From Memphis Depay to Antony, the examples are endless. However, Bruno Fernandes became the definitive exception to that rule. Whether you view him as a legend or just a good player, there is no denying that since his arrival in January 2020, he has been United's standout performer. Any doubts vanished during his explosive start. When he arrived, United sat in 5th place after 24 rounds. Thanks to his 15 goal involvements in just 14 games, the team finished 3rd behind Liverpool and City, securing Champions League football. He even dragged them to a Europa League semi-final during the pandemic era, contributing 4 goals in 5 games. It was a flawless individual start, but even then, cracks were beginning to show. Before we get to the next part of the story, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone already following along. If you're enjoying the journey so far and want to see more content like this, consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. It's the best way to support the channel and make sure you never miss a new upload. Bruno is, to put it bluntly, a volatile character. During that Europa League semi-final against Sevilla, where he scored United's only goal, he was caught in a furious on-field argument with teammate Victor Lindelof. The cause? Lindelof's perceived lapse in marking Luuk de Jong, who scored the winner. This became a recurring theme, arguments with referees, opponents, and his own teammates. This abrasive nature wasn't learned at United. It's his DNA. His former manager at Sporting, Silas, noted that Bruno was constantly in verbal wars with his teammates, criticizing and being criticized in return. However, Silas emphasized that this fire stayed on the pitch. Off the clock, he described Bruno as a remarkably calm, composed individual who leaves the conflict behind. But while Bruno might forget, the fans do not. When results are poor, these outbursts become the focal point of criticism. Some see this friction as a contributor to the club's instability. This was exacerbated when a leaked audio recording from his Sporting days surfaced, where he ruthlessly questioned his teammates' commitment, essentially telling them to leave the club if they weren't going to give their all. His rap sheet of controversy is long. The physical contact with an official during the 7-0 drubbing at Liverpool, the training ground bust-up with Nemanja Matic, and a history of red cards followed by public apologies that feel increasingly hollow. In 2024, after a red card against Tottenham, he issued a heartfelt apology only to be sent off again 4 days later against Porto in the Champions League. These actions have left massive question marks over his maturity and suitability for the captaincy. Bruno's media presence is equally polarizing. He once publicly apologized to Erik ten Hag, claiming he felt responsible for the manager's sacking. Before that, he spoke out about Ralf Rangnick, suggesting that while he was a good coach, He didn't fit the squad because the team was built for Solskjaer's philosophy. These comments were often interpreted as subtle digs at the board and a lack of respect for the manager in charge. Furthermore, his perceived friction with Cristiano Ronaldo, specifically his demeanor in the national team camp following Ronaldo's bitter exit from United, earned him new enemies among Ronaldo's hardcore global fan base. His inheritance of the captain's armband and penalty duties led many to accuse him of prioritizing personal glory over the club's shining light. This is ironic, given that Bruno once cited Ronaldo as the very reason he loved United and his childhood idol. Despite the behavioral critiques, Roy Keane's biggest footballing gripe is that Bruno takes too many risks, leading to unnecessary goals conceded. Keane argues that Bruno's defensive work rate has become performative rather than effective, but if he's such a devil, why did United sign him? To understand Bruno, you have to look at his youth. He thrives on criticism. After a match for Boavista's U15S against Porto, the opposing manager praised him as a future star. But his father immediately shut him down, telling him his positioning was terrible and the goal they conceded was his fault. Since that day, Bruno has been his own harshest critic, often losing his appetite or the ability to socialize after a loss. Statistically, Bruno isn't just United's best, he's a Premier League elite. From February 2020 to the end of last season, Bruno earned his team more points through goal involvements than Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, or Harry Kane. Only Mohamed Salah ranks higher. He has created over 100 more chances than his closest rivals. Bruno is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. He has played 6 different positions under 3 different managers, from winger to playmaker, and even as a holding midfielder under Amorim. This brings us to the ultimate paradox. On one hand, his statistical dominance is undeniable. On the other, his availability, the best ability, means he has played more minutes than almost anyone else since 2020. But because he is always on the pitch, he has become the face of the failure. He is the man in the frame for every 7-0 loss and every historic collapse. As former United winger Lee Sharp put it, history will remember Bruno as a great player, but it may be impossible to call him a club legend because he is synonymous with the club's darkest era. So, is Bruno Fernandes a legend who stayed loyal at the bottom, or the captain of a sinking ship? The final chapter is being written now. If he lifts a major trophy, he is the hero who believed when no one else did. If the cycle of failure continues, he will simply be the face of a decade to forget. We're waiting to see if luck finally smiles on him, or if destiny has one more Manchester disaster waiting in the wings.